Hello, hello, and welcome to Brazen. Welcome to an episode that's probably going to be much shorter than the ones that we usually have together. Today's been rough. Can I just be totally and completely fucking honest with you? Like one woman to another, one human to another. Today's been rough. Last week's been rough. If you are in my private community in any way on the internets, or if you've been in a summer retreat with me, if we're working together one on one, if you're in the Brazen Sisterhood, if we are connected at a deeper level, you know that this past week has been pretty fucking difficult for Travis and I. There's been a lot of death, and we have been doing a lot of grieving, and it has been hard, as grieving is sometimes. Grieving is difficult and it's confusing and it's messy and it's so fucking human. So I'm probably going to cry today. I'm just going to be honest with you. I figured I could post up a podcast that's pre-recorded, one that's from a while ago, that's ready to be pushed out to all y'all, but I felt like it might just be time to be really honest about one of the most human aspects, one of the most real parts of being a human and being alive. Grief. Heavy shit. And I don't know about you. I wasn't really taught how to grieve. I don't know that any of us are. I think it's something we have to learn. And if you do, by chance, have someone in your life that taught you how to grieve or taught you the ways in which you can grieve, what a fucking blessing. I've been just raw dogging it. And I think I've done a pretty good job. And now I have more tools than I ever have in the last 15 years. And one of the things that I didn't know about grief until about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, grief hit me harder than it ever had before. I didn't know that grief was so much more than sadness. I mean, it made sense, it makes sense that grief is more than just sadness, but you don't really think about it until you're in it or someone close to you is in it. Sometimes grief is anger. Sometimes grief is a numbness. Sometimes it's confusion. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's remembering the good times. Oh, I'm definitely going to cry. Sometimes it's resentment. Grief is heavy. It's a lot to carry. And, just let me wipe my tears off, even though tears are fucking medicine, and we're going to talk about that today. When it comes to grief, we live in a world that tries so fucking hard to require so damn much from us. It doesn't give us the time to grieve. It's such a natural part of life. Death is such a natural part of life. It's not natural to experience death and then get right back to fucking work the next day. And I know sometimes we have to. I mean, in this last week, I've had to figure out my own personal balance of that as well. It's just not fucking natural to go straight back, to put the mask back on and to be like, okay, everything's fine. When you suppress grief, just like when you suppress fucking anything, it'll show up somewhere else. You're not pushing it down into a bottle inside yourself with a fucking cap on it, then having nothing come from that. Learned that the hard way too. When we suppress grief and we avoid it, sometimes it can physically manifest. A lot of the times, most of the time, it'll physically manifest within our body. It'll show up in a lack of patience, a short temper. And we're not just talking about death of a loved one, grief comes in many forms. Sometimes it's an ending. Sometimes it's a death by way of a version of yourself that's dying. You have to grieve the old version of you. And that's the last time that I grieved this heavy. I mean, I've had loved ones pass. My Nana passed a few years ago, but I'm so grateful that I was able to grieve alongside of her almost. She lived with my grandma, her daughter, for quite a while. And I'm so grateful for this beautiful business that I've created because it allowed me to go and spend a whole week, many weeks. But the last week that I got to spend with my grandma and my Nana, living there with them, taking care of Nana, helping take care of grandma. I remember I sat and massaged my Nana's feet. And I just remember she put her head back. And I was like, "Oh, Nana, does that feel good?" And she was like, "Oh, it feels so good." And it was one of the first times I had seen her feel a pleasure, a joy, because she had been in so much pain. So grieving Nana was much easier because I was able to be there with her and she helped me, honestly. She was up there. She was almost at 100. She lived a beautiful full life and she told me towards the end, take care of grandma, take care of would be her daughter. She knew she was leaving. She was good with it. She was happy. She was excited to get back to Popo, my great grandfather. But the grieving that I've been doing recently, this past week, I haven't been hit like this since I was about 10 years ago. And if you're grieving anything right now, if you're grieving a death of a loved one, if you're grieving an ending of a chapter of your life, if you're grieving a version of yourself that's past and you're becoming something new, I just wanted to sit with you today. We told our family about one of the deaths. We haven't really told anybody about the other, and it's not mine to tell. And as we've been processing it and figuring it out, I've been more of a support because the grieving's not mine, if that makes sense. And it cracks you open to what really matters. And I mean, we know what really matters. I mean, it's part of the work that I do. And if you're listening to this podcast at all, it's probably the work that you do, figuring out in your life what really matters. And I'm not going to fucking hand you a line of bullshit and be like, family is what really matters, even though family is what matters. But I'm a big believer that blood doesn't make family, marriage doesn't make family. It's the people, it's the connections. And this last week really, it cracked me open to what really mattered and what didn't, regardless of what anybody else thinks. So I just want to sit with you right now. Like I said, if you want to, you can join me. If you want to put one of your hands on your heart, if it fucking feels good, I bet it will. Maybe we just sit together for a second and I want you to think about, first of all, are you grieving? Are you grieving the death of a loved one? Are you grieving an ending? Are you grieving an ending of your life? I mean, fuck. When I talk about 10 years ago, I grieved my grandfather passing at the same time that I grieved no longer having my children in my life because of a divorce. I mean, they were my stepchildren, but they were not my stepchildren. They're my babies. And I also was grieving my biological mother, even though she was and still is alive. That's so much grieving. So there's just so many ways that you can feel this. So just sit with me right now and just ask yourself, maybe you haven't given yourself the space or the time to recognize that you are grieving something or someone. So let's just sit together. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale. Let's do it a few times. Inhale, exhale. Probably feels good, right? Bring to mind a beautiful aspect of grieving. Just give it a try. See if you like it. If you're grieving the passing of a loved one, maybe you bring to mind the fact that they're no longer in pain or they're no longer suffering or that they're in a place that's better, if that's what you believe. If you're grieving an ending, maybe you think of the new beginning that must happen now. Every ending is a new beginning. And I know that sounds like a bumper sticker, but it's fucking true. Every single ending is a new beginning. So just sit with the good and breathe. Make sure you make some noise on that exhale. I promise you, it feels a lot better. Inhale, exhale. What does your heart need? How have you been avoiding feeling your feelings? How have you been avoiding being a human? Have you been avoiding it with work? Have you been avoiding it with doom scrolling? Have you been avoiding it with all the other fucking distractions that there are on this earth right now? Just pay attention. No judgment, no criticism. Don't shame yourself or guilt yourself. Just notice it. And then when you're ready, change it. Inhale, exhale. Grief isn't a problem to fix. It's a portal. It's a doorway. Like I said, it cracks you open. You get to know your own resilience a lot more. You come face to face with your priorities, your values. Mourning, grieving isn't a problem. It's so fucking human. What is more natural than life and death? What is more natural? Breathing, eating, birth, death. It's all so human. So if you've been carrying around grief like it's some problem that you have to fucking fix, maybe you consider it now as a doorway. You got to go through it. Inhale, exhale. You got to get out of your head. And I say that to you, me, and every other human on this earth. We got to get out of our heads. Got to get into your body. Your body remembers everything. Your body remembers everything that your brain tried to forget. Your body holds on to all of the emotions and energies that you didn't take time to feel or process or navigate, whatever. And you only get one body. And if you have the tools, which I know you have the tools because we talk about the tools in your toolbox all the time. If you have the tools to navigate and process emotions, it'll make your life a hell of a lot easier because you're going to find that so much less shit collects in your body. That is something I have found out. Gosh, I didn't realize how much shit I carried in my body because of all the shit I never processed. And I thought I had. You want to know how I thought I processed my grandfather's death? My grandpa. Gramps was like he was my best friend, one of my best friends. He was so important to me. You know, I know you know this, but John Wayne, I don't know how to explain it. It's Grandpa loved John Wayne. I love John Wayne. Together we love John Wayne. And there's just something about John Wayne that, I don't know, it lives in my heart really deep. And when Gramps passed away, those were some boots, those were some shoes that nobody could fill. And, I found out as years passed that, definitely had my grandpa up on a pedestal, but what granddaughter doesn't? And I saw him drink at the bar, at the family bar. And I thought the way that I needed to process grandpa's death 10 years ago was to go to that same bar and sit in that same fucking small town bar stool and drink. And it was fun, a little bit. I sat there with my friends and a few family members, and we all toasted to him, and we drank and we laughed and we told stories about him, and we got on the jukebox and we played some of his favorite fucking songs. I think I played every damn George Jones song that was on that jukebox, but I never actually processed it, shoved it down, drowned it with whiskey. So I just want to take a moment with you right now, and I want to invite you. You don't fucking have to if you don't want to, but maybe you just identify a time in your life where maybe you didn't fully fucking process something, like me, like I just shared. Is there a time in your life where you thought you processed it, but now looking back, you're like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe I fucking didn't actually, because there's still time. You still can. So we're gonna do something weird and woo-woo and honestly just super fucking human, but we don't really remember how to be humans anymore, it seems, on this earth because we're too fucking focused on being online or being on a screen, which is so ironic, I know, because I'm sitting here with you on a screen and I'm always online for my business. I know it's ironic, but that's the truth of it. We've kind of forgot how to be humans. But we're gonna do something that's super human. And I'm going to invite you to do it now. Now that we've felt some feelings and we focused on the good that comes after, we focused on the new beginnings, we've sat with it. Are you ready? Okay. Take both your hands, place them on your chest. Okay. If you're a woman like me and you got some big old boobies, I need you to place them above the boobies. Okay. And let's just start rhythmically patting the chest with both hands. And you're going to feel it in your chest. Now, I want you to try this now. If you're watching YouTube, then this is gonna be way easier. So take your hands and make little cups. Try it that way. Do you feel the difference? There's difference. And let's hum. We're just gonna do it together, okay? Bring the grief to mind, bring the mourning to mind, bring it all up, and now let's hum. And you can make a bunch of fucking noises, okay? Just be a human being, get fucking weird with it, make fucking noises. Stop trying to be politically correct. It will never work. Okay, let's go. You're gonna feel an opening in your chest. Keep doing it. Try going higher with the humming and then lower with the humming and just get an idea of what it feels like to you. You're just looking for what feels good. Now let's just change it to one hand in the center of your chest. I'll go ahead and stop and take a big inhale and exhale. And just notice for a second how you feel in your body. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just how do you feel in your body now? It's interesting, isn't it? When you kind of say, fuck all the noise, fuck everything else. I'm just going to be a human and do what feels good at a primal level. Feels good. Feels right. Feels weird sometimes. Still feels good and feels right. Okay, here's a fun one. We're going to start right below the armpit. I recommend that you do lymphatic drainage if you want to, and then that would be up in your armpit. But for right now, we're going to make that cup with our hands, and we're going to start the side of our boobies. So take your right hand, go to your left boob, and then we're going to go all the way down. And you're going to be patting with me almost down to your hip. Okay, are you ready? I should have worn more deodorant. Oh my gosh. Your girl has some stinky armpits. Okay, let me get a drink in. All right, are you ready? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna start with breathing. Ah, make a noise on the fucking exhale. Ah. Good. Let's get up in there. Start patting the side of your boob. Let it be rhythmic. Ah. Go all the way down your side. Get into that hip. Ah. Good. Other side. Remember, you're making a cup with your hands. It'll make it hurt less too, so you're not just slapping on your titty, right? So on this side, I'm just going to share this with you. So maybe it's helpful. So this side that I'm doing right now, I feel like a more quickened rhythmic pace is what my body needs. That's intuitively what came up was just do it a little bit quicker. So listen to your fucking body. Okay. Above all else, listen to yourself always. So do what you need here. Especially below your boob, like we're looking at the side of the stomach, down, sacral. Get in there. Good. Now, this is a fun one that I've been doing. So take the same little cups with your hands, and you're just going to slowly kind of pat the back of your head. You don't have to do it very hard, okay? So, like right at the base of your skull. Inhale, exhale. Don't forget to breathe. Ow, don't get your fingers stuck in your hair like I did. Youch. Maybe put your hands up in the air. If that feels right. Put your hands up in the air. Wave them around like you just don't care. Just fucking put them up there. Just who fucking cares? Wheel them around. Shake your hands, shake your hands. Flick out the energy if you want to. How's that feeling? There's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to do this. I would recommend, personal recommendation, if you are realizing right now, like, oh my fuck, I did not grieve from insert whatever, or if you are in the middle of grieving, I recommend that you maybe go on YouTube and look up some guided breath work, some guided tapping EFT, some guided meditation, some guided visualizations, some fucking mirror work about grief. And you do it and you don't rush through it and you don't fucking get up halfway through. That's the one thing I see with clients more than anything else in the entire world is they don't want to sit and do it. They say they want to sit and do it. We all do. Me too. It's not just clients. It's me too. It's all humans. We're like, yeah, I want to do whatever it takes to get through this. And when what it takes is to sit and be silent and be with ourselves and be with our mind, be with our body, we're like, just fucking kidding. Let me go find something else to do. Let me be productive in a different way. That's it. That's the thing that gets everyone. I recommend you don't do that. Carve out an entire hour, and what you're doing to be quote unquote productive is you are feeling your shit and you're processing it so you don't have to deal with it 20 years from now when it all collects in your fucking lungs or in your kidneys or in your fucking liver if you're angry. You just deal with it now. Ooh, and I feel like I'm going to pull a card here. I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Rebels. Oh, okay. That was quick. I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. As you know, it's one of my favorites. If you're not into woo woo, then don't. If you're not spiritual, then don't. But I bet you are because you're a human and we're literally all just fucking souls having a spiritual experience inside of a meat suit. So I bet you are. This is an interesting one. Number 11, diving for light. Look at the card. It's fucking pretty. It has seahorses on it, and she is gorgeous. We're going to read that here in a second. But I have some reminders for you if you need them. I know I did, especially this week. Number one, healing is not linear. It's fucking cyclical, dude. You will be fine one day. Apparently, I'm going to cry again right now. You will be fine one day. And then one day you just won't. You'll be at a fucking stoplight and you'll just start bawling your eyes out. Don't stop that shit. Don't suppress it. My God, I grew up in a family and they're still this way. God love them. Just shove it down. Don't feeling your feelings makes you a fucking wussy. Stupid ass shit. Don't do that. Please don't do that. For the love of God, don't do that. If you notice one day that your feelings are real big, then babe, go feel your feelings, okay? Get shit done, do what you need to do, be responsible and accountable and feel your fucking feelings. It's cyclical. It's not like you're going to check off a bunch of boxes when you're grieving and then you're going to be like, okay, I'm done grieving. That's just not how this goes. There's no timeline. Talked about it in the beginning. It's rough. It is. It's hard. It's hard to live in a world, especially if you have drive and ambition and you're edging more and more towards more and more success. Like I am definitely a human like that too. I get it. I get it on so many levels. When you have ambition and you have goals that you're going after, it's very difficult sometimes to slow down and feel feelings. And I just told you, I grew up in a family where it was like, don't you fucking feel your feelings? That's stupid. Nobody fucking cares. Like, I get that. That's our society sometimes. But dude, don't do that shit to yourself. There's no timeline. If someone's implying or telling you, including yourself, okay, we're not just pointing fingers here. Don't do that. Like, also pointed at yourself in this situation. If anybody, including you, is trying to give you a timeline on when you need to be done grieving, with all the respect in the world, I say, fuck that. Fuck that hard. Don't do that to yourself, okay? And don't let anybody else do that to you. Again, be accountable, be responsible, take care of your shit, and hold space for yourself. You can do all of that, I promise. And remember, grieving comes in so many forms. Sometimes it is that you're grieving the loss of a loved one. Sometimes it's the ending. Sometimes it feels like confusion. Sometimes it feels like anger. It feels like a lot. And it's not black and white. And most of us never got a fucking instruction manual on this, okay? So give yourself some grace. Have more compassion for yourself. Be honest with people. I just recently had this conversation with Trav because in my business, in my personal business and professional business, they are intertwined. I'm very open with the women that I work with. We have a fucking baseline standard of honesty and vulnerability. And when I started going through this, I reached out to the women that I've been working with one on one or in group settings. And I was like, hey, I need time. Hey, this is what I'm going through. Hey, I might need support as your coach. I might just need you to be like, hey, it's okay. Woman to woman, human to human. I talked to Trav about that because he has an opportunity where he's working with really great guys. And I was like, maybe it's time to do the same because my God, what a beautiful fucking world it would be if real men stood up. Men who allowed space for grieving and vulnerability while they also got shit done, you know? And that's Trav. And I told him, like, just be a real human with them. And he agreed completely. He didn't need the advice, but you know how sometimes you just need your partner to look at you and say the thing that you already know deep in your heart? Another reminder, and I know it sucks. And maybe after this, you read the book, Body Keeps a Score, because maybe that would change your life. Probably, yes, it would. Your body remembers fucking everything, dude. Your body remembers everything. And you can try to forget it with your mind as much as you fucking want, but it'll keep showing up over and over again in your life. You will keep living the same fucking patterns in your life until you finally look at them. Goes for grief. Certainly goes for grief. I told you in the beginning too when I was crying that tears are medicine, and I hope that you remember that above anything else. Your tears are medicine. Fucking cry. I understand. Like there's this whole thing online and out in the quote unquote real world where nobody's supposed to cry. And if you cry, you're a wuss. Actually, I don't know if this will get me kicked off Spotify. Probably not. I don't think it'll get me kicked off Apple either. I say fuck enough, so this word probably won't. One of the things I heard the most growing up is crying is for pussies, not even wussies. It was the P word. It was pussies. You know what? The strongest people I know allow themselves to cry because they know how healing it is and they understand how important it is. So if anybody, including yourself, is like, don't you fucking cry, bitch, squirt a tear out for me. Okay? Fucking squirt them out. Your tears are medicine. And on that note, please remember also that grief and joy can coexist. That's one of the things that Trav and I are going through right now. Learning how grief and joy can coexist. It's really hard. It's a weird balance because you almost feel guilty sometimes for allowing joy to happen when you're grieving. You know what I mean? You feel guilty for moving forward. You feel guilt when guilt's not necessary. And that's so human of all of us as I'm sitting here crying with you. Like, that's really fucking human, bro. But just remember that grief and joy can coexist. They do coexist. It's actually part of being a human being for sure. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're kind of guilting yourself or feeling some sort of way about allowing joy to be in your life while you're grieving, remember that they go together like peanut butter and jelly, okay? And that's one of the most beautiful ways to move through grief is to allow more joy, to savor your life. If you're in a space where you just had a huge ending, it only makes sense for you to enjoy the beginning steps of the new beginning. Otherwise, you're holding yourself back for no reason other than to hurt yourself and guilt yourself. And the last thing that I'm going to say about guilt, and then I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to go cry and go do some somatic work for sure. Don't let it stay unprocessed. Don't push your shit down. Don't put it in a fucking bottle. Don't avoid it. Don't distract yourself. Don't numb yourself. Just fucking feel it. Go through it. And if you need support, get support. But please, I beg of you, do not be the type of person like I was, and many of us have been at one point, or maybe still are. Don't be the type of person who just shoves it away and lets it show up later in life bigger and more painful. Don't let it get shoved down and avoid it and numb it and distract yourself from it and push it in a fucking bottle and then have it come out in the way that you speak to others or speak to yourself. Don't let grief become the thing that ruins your relationships with yourself and with others because you're not processing it. I've seen it happen way too many times. I've done it. If you knew me between 2017 and 2019, those 2 years of really dark shit. I wasn't grieving in a way that was healthy. I was like 20% grieving in a healthy way. And like every, I don't know, quarter of the year, it got a little better. Don't grieve in a way that hurts you and hurts others if you can help it. You have a lot of tools in your toolbox that we talk about all the damn time. And I'm here. I'm always here. You don't have to fucking sign up to work with me. That's not how I work. And I think we both know that by now. If you need support, fucking send me an email, send me a DM. Let's just be humans together. Okay? Please remember, you have to have community. You heal in community. You don't heal. I mean, you do heal by yourself. That's a very important part of the healing process is the cocoon phase. But please, you heal in community. Have your team in place, a coach, a mentor, a therapist, a counselor, your family, your friends, somebody. Have somebody. And on the days when you feel like you don't have anybody, remember that you do. And please send me a message and I'll remind you that you do. Okay? Let's read this oracle card and let's call it a day, shall we? Number 11 in the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, which is one of my faves. Diving for the light. We both know it's going to be literally spot on to what we're talking about, right? That's just how this works. How brave you are. You're diving for the light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly, in which is blissful, sweet, loving, and kind. To look for the light in which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may not feel that you've taken such a journey by choice. I'm going to try not to cry simply because I want to read this to you and I'll go cry here in a minute, but you might have to be patient with me here. You may not feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, yet you have taken this wise challenge on from deep within your soul. Your innermost being has evoked this situation in your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life and become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. This card speaks of a time when you are called into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. But darkness might be a creative block, sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety. There may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness might be generally accepted and socially acknowledged because there's a socially acceptable or obvious reason for it, such as death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You might not need a quote unquote reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Just know that you're actually on track and right where you need to be. Our creative process and our spiritual path go through a similar turning of a wheel. There is a spring and a summer in the seasons of our soul, as well as in the earthly ones. There's an autumn harvest and there's a death inherent in winter. When the energy is concentrated and pulled within to seek out the darkness where it can rest, regenerate, and simply be until the time is right for new life, energy, and creative inspiration to burst forth. When diving for the light, one must be willing to bear the darkness and understand it has purpose, much like winter does upon the earth. It is not an error or through lack of consciousness that you're here now. It's a testament to your spiritual growth in the creative process, not a sign that they are lacking or stalling. The healing process below will help you with your inward plunging, and to successfully navigate it. Side note, the healing that they're talking about is each one of the cards has one. And if you want this, just send me a message on Instagram or send me an email and I'll send you the healing process that's in here. This oracle card brings particular guidance that although you are powerful, you are also vulnerable at this time. You need to be alert to sabotage and criticism that may make your progress more difficult than it already is. That would be rather unnecessary. At least some of the people around you might be more attached to their fear and doubt than their faith in your process and the ways of the creative, rebellious spiritual path that asks us to trust unconditionally. They may be frightened due to lack of understanding. You don't need to carry their fear for them. You have your own process to attend to, and they can choose to be inspired by your journey or frightened by it. They are free to respond as they wish, and whatever those responses are, they are part of their journey for them to work through, not you. There's a lot more here. Again, if you want it, just send me a message. I will send it over to you. It's wild, isn't it? Like when I first started pulling oracle cards and learning the process, learning the history of them and the reasoning that we do it now and why our ancestors did in all sorts of cultures, it blew my mind. It made so much sense. So much of what I've learned is so deeply rooted in the way that our ancestors lived. And it makes so much more sense than what we do now in the modern world. And every time they're so spot on. And it's wild to me because for me at least, I connect with, only the things that are good. I call on Mary Magdalene more than anything else in life. It's wild, at least for me, that it's a message directly from whoever you call on. It's a message from something bigger. It's a message from God, source, universe, divine, creator. It's just really cool in that way. So, what a beautiful card to end today's podcast episode. Again, if you're grieving, take time to do so. Don't rush yourself through the process. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go be kind to yourself. Go be kind to others. And remember, everybody's going through some shit. You don't always know it though. So be extra kind to strangers this week, okay? Love you. See you later.